South Korea has been saying that it'll play the role of mediator, recently facilitator, between Pyongyang and Washington on denuclearization.
But there are concerns that South Korea's efforts are not satisfying anyone. Our Foreign Ministry correspondent Lee Ji-won reports.
Soon after the Hanoi summit, South Korea's foreign ministry said it's talking with the U.S. about scheduling a sit-down for their top diplomats. Nothing's been announced yet, but the South Korean daily Chungang-ilbo cites a source in Washington as saying that the long wait might be a sign of coolness in response to comments from the Blue House. After the Hanoi summit collapsed, the leaders of South Korea and the U.S. spoke on the phone, and according to the Blue House, President Trump asked President Moon to play an active role as a mediator. But the Chungang-ilbo source said what President Trump actually asked for was that Seoul persuade Pyongyang into agreeing to Washington's so-called big deal instead of delivering the North's message to the U.S. To that claim, the Blue House said that it doesn't feel the need to respond, and Seoul's foreign ministry said it's working closely with the U.S. on various levels. North Korea has been more upfront in its criticism on the South. Earlier this month, the North's vice foreign minister said South Korea is not an arbiter, but another player. The regime's state-run media reiterated that message, urging Seoul to take a more independent stance rather than seeking approval from the U.S. The North's temporary withdrawal from the inter-Korean liaison office last week is widely viewed as a show of frustration. A North Korea expert thinks these criticisms show how North Korea and the U.S. are asking South Korea for very different things, and that Seoul does not have a plan of its own.
In short, Washington wants a denuclearization roadmap for the North, while Pyongyang wants step-by-step corresponding measures. So Seoul has to come up with a proposal that satisfies both, like making that roadmap and pairing each step with corresponding measures that may include partial sanctions relief. It'd also help if Seoul can get China, Japan, and Russia to support this.
Professor Park noted that much of the corresponding measures involve South Korea, so he said Seoul needs to take a more self-driven approach in resolving this issue. Lee Ji-won, Arirang News.